Hello, welcome to Mountain Tide Studio, my YouTube channel, and I thought about cleaning, but I just want to get this video done. So sometimes this is what my studio looks like. I always clean up first, but then I was like, well, this is real. It's a mess. I just finished these two paintings, and I thought I would make a video about making a painting. So I'm going to share with you the process of how I make paintings. Generally, I make two at a time, and that helps me ideate and go in different directions. So stick with me and I'll walk you through the process. Okay, thanks. Generally, I like to start with a drawing. Not always, but in this case, I've been doing these grid paintings, and it's nice to map out where everything's going to go ahead of time. So you can see right away that the two drawings of the two paintings are different, but similar, and that's often a nice place to start. This method of making two paintings at once works for me because I'm making two paintings that almost have the same starting point, but then at some point I'm allowed to change gears and take the paintings in different directions. So sometimes they end up looking pretty similar to each other, and sometimes they end up looking wildly different. But either way, it sort of like takes the pressure off of the one painting if I'm making two at a time. I also recommend this method if you're doing commissions. This was a trick that I learned ages ago from a mentor who taught me that if someone commissioned you to do a painting and then you show them the one painting, they might like it, they might not like it, but if you show them two paintings, they almost always have the same reaction, which is, oh wow, I don't know which one to choose. So you instantly create this situation where they have choice. And so it's a really great method in terms of doing commissions if you do commissions. Generally with watercolor, I like to let it dry a little bit to get textures. You can use a hairdryer to speed things up, but this is another benefit of making two paintings simultaneously is you can let one dry and you can then move to the other one. And if things are so wet that you don't have control over that, you can do this trick, which is really, really old school. You'll see here in a second. You can use like a paintbrush or a wooden dowel to rest your hand on so that it's not actually on the painting. And here are the two finished paintings from that set. So these two paintings are the ones from the beginning of this video during my introduction. And what I'm doing here is just showing you the last bit of these paintings. Finishing paintings, I think is the hardest part for me, knowing when you're done. And that's a tough one. It's a personal decision for everyone. I think the obvious answer is, well, you've painted all your surfaces, but that doesn't always answer the question, have you finished your painting? So, I mean, it's a little bit of a cliche, but you can go back to the elements of art and think about, do you have everything there in terms of contrast, composition, and blah, blah, blah. But ultimately, I think it just comes down to your gut feeling in terms of where things are and how much, you want to keep going with it. I think it's easy to overwork a painting. And so one solution I have for that is to stop near the end of a painting and let it sit. So in this case, these bits that I've been painting on here that all needed finishing, I had let the painting just sit for 3 or 4 days with those empty parts. And then I took probably a couple hours or a couple days to put in the finishing touches. And at that point, I felt like, yes, these are done. So these paintings were experiments that I did last summer. I started by drawing the golden mean on 4 pieces of paper, and then I put plant shapes on top of them. And then I went back in and added details. It was just sort of playing with each of them. And I think it's just another example of why it's fun to paint multiple paintings at one time. I don't think it's an ADHD thing. Some people say that. I think it gives your brain time to rest and think about paintings as you sort of move between them, and then your subconscious kind of throws ideas out. So that's my last pitch for why to make more than one painting at the same time. Thanks to Stefan Nelson for the original music for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe and let me know if you have any questions.